is All News Channel.
There you see it, the West Coast ushers in the new millennium. Thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Fratelloni. The clock strikes 12 in Las Vegas, the gambling capital of the world. Up and down Sin City's Magic Strip, parties include some of the biggest names in show business. Performers include Barbra Streisand, Elton John, and Bette Midler, headlining at the major hotels to usher in 2000.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now, New Year's in the Central Time Zone, Chicago, the Windy City, welcomes the year 2000 with its biggest ever fireworks display. It was along the city's lakefront, following a day of parties and a dramatic laser light show. Many residents danced into the new century with a new step called the Millie. It's specially created to reflect the history and pride of the city. An hour earlier, all eyes were on the Big Apple, or should we say the ball in the Big Apple. It was the party of a lifetime as the glittering Millennium Ball dropped in New York City's Times Square. Now, despite warnings of terrorism, Times Square was crammed with up to 2 million people from all over the world. Security was tight, though. More than 8,000 New York cops were on the scene, more than double the usual number for New Year's Eve. While the nation celebrates a new millennium, it's also breathing a sigh of relief. It appears the Y2K computer bug was more hype than headache. Pat Rogers has the story from Washington.
The only news out of Washington, the huge celebration on the National Mall. President Clinton and the First Lady addressed the crowd from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial.
Under Mr. Lincoln's gaze, we each stand taller and we all reach higher.
The torch is passed to a new century of young Americans.
While the focus was on the party, just a half a mile away, federal officials monitored the date rollover as the clock struck midnight around the world. No major problems. For example, fears that planes would disappear from radar screens and crash were proven unfounded.
Air traffic control systems continue to operate normally at this hour, and the 150 highest volume airports in the United States report operations without difficulty.
All major sectors, from power to banking to the military, everything went smoothly.
There does not appear to be any bad news so far. All early indications are good. However, it's far too early to declare victory.
Officials say it's not completely over. Monday, when everyone goes back to work and turns on their computers, the system will face another test. In Washington, Pat Rogers reporting.
Now back to the New Year's celebrations. We go overseas to London. With the tolling of Big Ben, Britain welcomed the new century. With that first chime, a string of 2,000 fireworks was ignited along the Thames River. It's estimated that 4 million people were in London to witness the sight. For 15 minutes, the sky turned gold, red, and green in showers of sparkling lights. And one of the more spectacular New Year's celebrations was in Paris. The most famous landmark in France, the Eiffel Tower, became a tower of light and fireworks. It was the centerpiece of the Millennium celebrations in Paris, but there was more. After the fireworks, the action shifted to the famous Champs-Élysées, where artists and performers entertained a crowd estimated at more than 1 million people. But the first major country to usher in the millennium was New Zealand. Their fireworks shot from the Sky Tower, the city's tallest building. It was the largest fireworks display ever in that country. It's estimated that 100,000 people were there to see it. Just after the clock struck midnight in New Zealand, what's said to be the first baby of the millennium was born. A bouncing boy entered the world in an Auckland hospital at 12:01 local time.